Happy Sunday here on your most favorite Tesla series on the whole internet on Tesla Sundays. We have a couple of breaking news this week to talk about Tesla, and therefore let's not waste any further second and dive into the vlog. So today's topics will be as follows. We will talk about the $2 billion capital raise that Tesla just announced. We will talk about the April company talks that are known as the battery day that will happen in a couple of weeks. We will talk about the 15,000 Model X that are being recalled. We will talk about the new Model 3 that will be also produced in China for the Chinese market. We will talk about the battery cell production that is starting to be prototyped, pilot in US. Also the Tesla stock, how it went this week. Also we will talk about two big hedge funds that are actually investing into Tesla. And finally we will talk about the Autopilot feature that was remotely deactivated but reactivated as well. So let's dive into it. So the $2 billion capital raise for Tesla came a little bit surprising because in the earnings call, Elon Musk said they actually don't need money, but they didn't say they don't want money. And therefore they are using currently the high stock price to raise additional funds, in total $2.3 billion. With a little bit of deduction of this capital, they will have $2 billion to invest into the company. We believe that maybe this will be used to build another gigafactory, for example, Texas, or to improve the pilot production of the battery cells that Tesla want to have in their own hands in future. However, all of this created a whole big news for Tesla this week, and the stock reacted first in the pre-market -7% and then returned positive, which was very surprising, and is a big sign that the stock is being traded very heavily on this kind of positive news. It was a very smart move by the Tesla management, and therefore we can look forward to what can be done with this little bit of pocket change. One of the most interesting day for a Tesla investor could be in April, because after Autonomous Day that happened in April 2019, we are looking into the Battery Day 2020, which will release some really breaking news on the tech that Tesla developing in the battery business. You know, the battery is one of the most important and crucial parts into the electric vehicle, and therefore it's very important what Tesla will announce in April. And Elon Musk just tweeted that they will have the battery day, how they call it now, the company talks in April, confirmed. They have not a date yet, but definitely will do it after the first quarter ends, which will be obviously very intense to deliver enough vehicle to make a hopefully positive quarter for Tesla numbers, because then there is the chance to be included in the S&P 500. This would be very positive for the company. And the Q1 of 2020, or generally the Q1, is very challenging for the whole car industry, and therefore they should focus on this first, and then in April we will know what happened to the acquisitions, for example, of Maxwell and Hybrid, two companies that they acquired over the last couple of months, and the battery tech that they were working on and will be released soon in all the Tesla vehicles. A very surprising news came when Tesla announced that they will make a voluntary 15,000 Model X recall because of power steering problems. Apparently there is a part in the Model X that is concerning the Tesla team, especially in countries where it's a little bit colder. This can lead to corrosion of some parts of the gear, and therefore they are recalling 15,000 vehicles to rework on some parts, and therefore this came also as breaking news this week. Something negative, but the stock or the company didn't react at all negatively on this news. Obviously, this kind of things can happen in the manufacturing business, especially in the car business. It's something on regular basis that some parts make some problems after a couple of years. It's actually affecting cars around 2016 models, so you can see that this problem just happened to be experienced after a couple of years, and therefore they want to play it safe and recall those vehicles. There was two big news from China, from Tesla China this week. First, the Tesla China factory started to produce again after some coronavirus precautions, that the factory was closed for a bit and the deliveries was stopped, but now the production and the deliveries took on. And moreover, due to leaked documents from the Chinese Ministry of Industry and IT, we know that Tesla will produce the rear-wheel drive Model 3 also in China. Some of these models was stopped in the US because Tesla always looking into simplifying the production, and therefore they are not producing this model anymore in the US. In China it will be the second model after the standard range rear-wheel drive that Tesla will produce in China for the market. So positive that the customers will have some choice here to also have a long range model of the Model 3. Another good news is that they are produced over 2,000 vehicles already this year, before the lunar year, before the Chinese New Year's Eve, and therefore you can see that the production is going on a very, very good numbers, and more Teslas will be produced and the production is being ramped up, and therefore really good news from China this week. The battery cell production is very important for Tesla. Now, currently how it works is that actually Tesla is buying the battery cells from Panasonic from Japan for the Model S and X, and they are buying the battery cells for the Model 3 from Panasonic that are produced in the Gigafactory 1. Now, as we know, Tesla, they are trying to see which parts of the car they can produce by themselves to save costs, to make the car even cheaper and more effectively the production lines, and be independent from suppliers. And this is actually what they are working on currently. Apparently there is a pilot program going on that they are producing the battery cells for cars already with its own equipment. There's the big influence by the current acquisitions that they did of Maxwell and Hyber as well, and therefore we can expect maybe already in April the news that they are producing a small amount of battery cells by themselves, which would be a huge leap because we know that other car manufacturers are buying these cells also from companies. But if Tesla would figure this out, that they will be the first car company that producing these cells by their own. If we are looking into the Tesla stock this week, we see that the company actually went up and down with the course over the last couple of days. Now we lost a bit in the first couple of days of this week, and then bounced back on the news of capital raise for the company, and therefore we are currently at the market cap for Tesla at $144 billion and a course of around $800 per share. This is, we are since a couple of weeks on a huge ride with the stock, and this is maybe a good reason that, more and more positive news comes from Tesla, that now hedge funds starting to target Tesla for being in their portfolio, which we will talk now. Now, to know in which companies the big hedge funds are investing, and then you can look into the 13F filling for the US Exchange and Security Commission, which are released just this Thursday and Friday. And we now know that big billionaire hedge funds, for example Ray Dalio's Bridgewater Associates, actually started to buy Tesla stock in Q4 of last year, and therefore we can see that there's the interest now, and they gained with the stock, and now the stock of Tesla is in Ray Dalio's portfolio, which is a huge surprise, but is a good sign that big guys are invested in Tesla now here as well. And another fund which is very secretive, the Renaissance Fund, which is actually a fund that is based on a computer algorithm, also had announced that there is Tesla stock in the fund as of now, and we don't know. I believe the Ray Dalio fund will have Tesla maybe on the longer term, but the Renaissance fund will maybe keep it just for a short term. Let's see, because this kind of announcement will be placed on a regular basis, so we can follow this if Tesla will be still in their portfolios and how long they are actually hold. So maybe you have seen the story that coursed this week around the news outlet that a guy who bought a 2017 Model S just announced that his Autopilot function was disabled by Tesla, and this was obviously is interesting to see that Tesla is looking for disable some functions over time if they think that they are not according to their pricing models anymore. But apparently it was restored again. There was a miscommunication between Tesla and the owner of the Models S, just confirmed that the Autopilot was reconnected, and therefore we see that Tesla is a bit of client friendly here in terms of the Autopilot function. And you can see how connected the cars are with Tesla, that Tesla can activate and deactivate function. We have recently seen that Tesla is offering some functions with their software that, for example, with a couple of extra money, you can activate some new features to make your car smarter, faster, or stronger. So therefore, thank you very much for watching, and see you next Sunday.